Once upon a time I had to wear a fake face just to feel safe. Ego had a safe face. Now I'm in phase where I ain't two-faced. Now I need the crown, I don't need a toupee. Full 44, yeah, I see it every day. Some think it's crazy, so I'm like, touche. Yeah, I was misunderstood, now I'm M's overstand. Shifting my position to ascension, that's a brand. In a talk negative, is it gonna get banned? 10 toes down is the way I understand. Healing bloodlines, my soul been a sign. Making moves from my heart, no longer with my mind. I the pingala, all waking in my spine. Like the sun and the moon, I am rising up to shine. Loving on myself like I know I'm a divine. I'm too fine and I'm one of a kind. Some people can't go with me cause we unaligned. It ain't a new day, it's a new timeline. Yeah. I ain't for the minute. Cause I'm ready for the few. Who ready to break that cycle? We are plenty. We are truth. Peace, peace, y'all. So, I'm Khamsin, Untamed Oracle. And I wanted to channel this energy that I've been swimming in and feeling. This is an Akashic collective reading that I'm going to be channeling. So how are you? If you're new, welcome. If you already know me, welcome back. I have been on the journey, going through my own ascension journey. These last eclipse that we had really shook up a lot of things for me. I did some candle magic right before the eclipse. And so just a lot of things are being illuminated that have been hidden. And it's not just me personally. I'm pretty sure that things are being illuminated for you as well. Things are being illuminated within our world, right? A lot of injustice that has happened to children and women. A lot of injustice, men. Like, injustice is being highlighted. You can't move and shake like you used to, and you feel like you go be protected by the confusion that you're existing in while you're doing whatever you're doing. Like, it's all coming out. So whether you have been someone when you feel like you had a heart of gold, you have always tried to be there for people. You've always tried to be supportive, to be positive. Like, I know it's rare, but some of us, we still around, right? We do this, and we're learning how to pull back. We're learning how to reassess. We're learning how to determine what deserves our energy and what doesn't. And that's new for a lot of us. For those of us who are old souls, for those of us who are star seeds, for those of us who are cycle breakers, we can feel the immense expansion that wants to happen inside of us, but we also see the constrictions and the limitations within our mind. Maybe you're noticing you got brain fog, you be forgetting shit. You literally walk in the kitchen and have no clue what you walked in the kitchen for. You're noticing how when you do something and it didn't turn out the way that you wanted to, you talking down on yourself. Like, you noticing, you hearing this shit, right? And so a lot of what's happening is not just technology, but it's also the ancestral technology that's turning on, that's exposing things to us that was hidden from us. And so even though some people would say, well, there are weapons that are being created and they distort our thoughts, that is true. That's happening. That's true. But you don't want to allow something to be so true for you that you don't take into consideration your own power to transform your thoughts. And let's just be real. Even though technology is doing what it's doing, we're technology too. And a lot of us have slept on ourselves. A lot of us have not had enough audacity to move through this motherfucking matrix like we are an asset. And that is what trauma does before you alchemize it. It creates a cloud around you of inner dialogue that says You're not going to be able to do that. You're not good enough to do that. You'll never make that much money. Nobody will never love you. Don't nobody want to be with nobody who be sick all the time. Don't nobody want to be with nobody who got all of these problems. You know, why are you even trying to manifest XYZ? You know you lack confidence and you got low self-esteem, but you doing all of this on the other side. Like the critical thoughts have like, I don't know, they stepped up their game. I'm touching on something here for anybody. We're being tested. We're being tested to see who we really are. Not who you think you are. Not the inner critic and all of the shit that it has to say about you. But not only that, but our own ego, who we think we should be, the things that we hope people don't see in us that we don't like, the imperfections, the flaws, the areas where you know you've been living in an existential crisis of your own capping. Like, you just been capping to yourself. You just been lying to yourself, living an illusion, allowing these thoughts to lie to you, allowing your ego to make you feel away. When you do shadow work, when you sit in the uncomfortableness, when you sit in the silence that is uncomfortable and painful, when you sit with moments where things have happened with other people and it's just circling the block through your mind, through your block, and it's just constant repeat, and you try to switch your mind to another channel and it comes back and it comes back. Neuroplasticity says that we can actually write a new script, but the new script is not going to be something that you're going to embody until you do it on repetition, because it is the things that you allow to repeat that creates your rhythm through life. And your rhythm through life ultimately will accumulate and construct your reality. And your reality can only, if you see grapes flying out my mouth, look over it. Take the message. If your reality somehow is not resonating with you, you have to double back and say, hold on. Is what I'm professing to be actually aligning with the process that I allow for myself from day to day, so that I can have progress and move in the direction of what I feel is aligned with me? Am I doing that? Am I really walking it like I talk it? When shit get hard, how do I behave? When I'm losing patience with something, what is the first thing that I do? When I get upset about something, do I pause before I react? Shadow work is living in these questions. Questioning the inner dialogue, questioning the ruminations, so that your rhythm can be better aligned with who you're becoming and not who you used to be. And a lot of what we see in our physical reality right now was not created by the version of you that's listening to me now. You have to know that this version of you is the best version of you. And with each passing day, no matter what happens, you are taking baby steps. You are moving in the direction of what you profess that you want to be, making sure that your process is going to give you the progress so that you are aligned with what you profess. We cannot profess something and talk it anymore and not walk it, but expect to receive it. And that is a gift from the universe, because the entire economy of the way we create our reality individually and collectively is being reconstructed. Now, let me tell you how you know this is happening, or this is something that's attempting to happen for you. Because when you really are doing the spiritual work, things in your world will break down. Your body will break down. Your mind will break down. Relationships will break down. You will see things in such a raw way. You won't be able to unsee it. You won't be able to unsee it. You won't be able to lie to yourself anymore. And that is uncomfortable. That does not feel good. So I ask you to reassess what you do every day, and is it creating the reality that you desire? Because what you do on repeat creates your rhythm, and that rhythm creates your reality, and that reality is going to mirror itself to you with resonance. So if you're resonating with my energy and the things that I am saying, that means that you are not here to fit into a role. You are not here to fit into the mold. You are here to figure out what it takes to be whole. And this is not a one lifetime thing. The people that I talk to are highly sensitive, empathic old souls who are seekers of the truth, even to the point where you have more truth revealed to you than your nervous system can actually handle. And a lot of us on this spiritual journey have done that. A lot of us have so many spiritual tools that we have bought, and we ain't did shit with them, but let them collect dust. Because your thoughts are scrambled. You don't know how to manage your time because time is speeding up. And the pressure to feel like you got to constantly be doing something, producing something, creating something. We don't realize how much our feed is feeding us a reality to make us feel like we are inadequate. Because as long as the old souls who are here to do alchemy feel inadequate, they won't be able to topple the people who have been creating these social engineering systems to dominate us. They have created a villain that's actually you. And the villain inside of you attracts situations outside of you that mirror back to you your own shadow self. But if you refuse to see it, if you are uncomfortable with seeing your shit, and you can start simple with this. And like I'm telling you, the signs that this is happening is that things start changing and you start losing control over the things that you felt like you had control over. Sometimes when the eclipse happened, I'm not somebody when y'all see me and then I'm complete somebody else. I got plenty of facets to me. And I pick and choose which version of me is going to serve me best each day. I'm not the same every day, but there are core themes in who I am. And I realize that sometimes I don't stand on business. I don't stand on my spiritual business. I realize that sometimes I let myself get in a cycle of darkness and hopelessness and helplessness because I can't control things that I once could control in the past, not realizing I'm being freed from the burden that I have been releasing. So I have the spiritual tools in my life, but now before I use them, I'm making sure that my energy is in alignment with what it is that I want to do. So right before the eclipse, I felt this energy coming, and I was like, wow, a lot of things that we could rely on not going to be able to be relied on anymore. A lot of people that were reliable in our lives aren't going to be able to be helpful anymore. What are we going to do? Things, careers, jobs, friendships, family situations, just things that you once could rely on. It's not as reliable as it used to be, if at all. And I could feel this huge transformation that's coming. And I'm not quite who I want to be, but I'm not who I used to be. But it's still some things in my life that I feel like are misaligned with who I am. And so before the eclipse, I did a candle magic spell that I did share in the members only group. And I share my workings that way because they are very powerful. And I know that if people actually follow through to get access to them, they're really aligned and ready to do that work. So when I did this work, it was to challenge myself to see new aspects of me that are not aligned with the future that I profess that I desire. And to protect me from anything that will disturb me from creating a timeline that's going to lead me to certain desired outcomes without clinging, without being overly attached, being able to trust the process, to know that when I slide up in a room, I'm never sliding in by myself. That I have spirit guides and ancestors who are walking with me and talking with me. And even when I cannot feel it, there is a force around me. There is something else that supports me to do this thing called life. And even though there are challenges that are showing up in my life and I'm not quite sure how to deal with them, and there are areas of our lives where we have not taken any steps, we have not made any decisions, because not making a decision is still a decision that's going to allow something to happen, and maybe you're not going to be able to control it. Who are you when you cannot control the uncontrollable? Because if you don't know that, you don't yet know who you are on a scale that is elevated enough to give you the reality that you desire. And that's okay, because once again, this is a process. So to remove the blockages and the stagnancy and the fear from the progress, I did this work, and let me tell y'all, like, it turned me inside out, where I noticed every time I abandoned myself when I did not speak my truth, where I noticed every time I cut myself short, cut myself down, every time I was rude to myself. And I was just like, I didn't even realize how much I do this. And so if you struggle with your mental health, with just emotional consistency, if you struggle with living in a state of fight or flight, you're always in survival mode. You always feel like you gotta either be escaping something because it's just too uncomfortable to face all of the things that's happening in your life, and maybe you have coping mechanisms and habits and things to escape. For me, is working. You know, I will work myself just and not give myself breaks. There are ways that we can be vicious toward ourselves that are insidious. And that's what I wanted to come to light. Because you can't really call for spiritual protection in the spiritual warfare that we're in. And it do exactly what it's supposed to do unless you are navigating life as if you know that you are an asset to your ancestral inheritance. Because the inheritance from our ancestors was not that just of pain, but it was that of resilience. It is the wisdom. It is something that you listen to that communicates a message from your DNA. It is a rhythmic hum. It is a song. It is a string of words and melodies from your DNA, and it speaks to your soul and it speaks to your heart. And a lot of us are miserable because we're not connecting to that station. You are the mothership. Yes, there are motherships around, but we are also the mothership. We are portals. We are access to many different dimensions and timelines. We leave our body every single night. We go and have experiences that are not bound by the physical body and come back. But if you're not doing the work, if you're not grounding yourself, if you're not committed to the breath work, if you're not devoted to actually doing through your process what's gonna give you progress that's aligned with the pretty shit you profess, because we can profess some beautiful things. We can do a vision board when we feeling ourselves. We can really talk really positively, and I'm not letting stuff worry me no more, and I'm not letting people take up space in my mind, and I'm not gonna even give people the pleasure of upsetting me and triggering me. We'll say all of that, and then we'll go right into a simulated reality where something is playing out and it triggers us, and then we're no longer tuned into that station. And that's normal. That's okay. That's gonna happen. So right now, if I want you to get anything from this channel message, is to trust yourself, even if you are making mistakes, even if you are noticing where you are not aligned with who you say you want to be and what you want to accomplish. Trust yourself that you're moving through this process the best that you can. And if you know that there's an area where you have not been giving it your all, decide, is it worth it to give my all to this specific thing, whatever it is. And you're always gonna have to pay the toll. So we have guardians of gateways, of thresholds. And it's so interesting because my journey has been one of having to walk through the fire and having to be in the most underworld, darkest, deepest, wicked experiences, and to bring gold from the shadows, right? To come out of it with wealth, with riches, with wisdom that was only attained by that experience and my tools and my practices. Are you investing and devoted to yourself, being the best version of you? And is the things that you apply your energy and effort to every day a reflection of who you're becoming or who you used to be? Which one? I'm gonna take a bite and let y'all think about that. Do you cave when life bring you pressure? I say, hey, witchy tarots. My members only. I appreciate you. Infinite blessings to you. And if I'm touching on something and I'm helping you think, and I'm, let me know. Like this video and let me know. Because that's you communicating to the universe what it is that you feel a resonance with, and that's important. So I did the candle magic, and it started revealing all of this stuff to me. And it started showing me the areas where I've been investing energy and it's just not going to give me in return what I actually deserve to receive. And so if something is not working out for you, don't try to force it right now. This is not the Okay, can y'all hear me now? Oh, and that was so good what I just said. Can y'all hear me now? Thank you for letting me know. I'll try to rechannel. Okay, let me rechannel what I said. You see the disturbance, what I'm talking about? Yeah, so we're in the middle of a spiritual warfare. And the sensitive souls, you come here to experience things that people in your inner circle is not going to be able to make sense with you. And I know they don't feel good all the time, because sometimes we need an echo chamber of like-minded people, because it's something that you feel when you're connecting with spirit, and the soul is talking. You know, surface conversations bother me. I admit that they bother me a lot more than I have ever admitted before. I crave truth. I crave depth. I crave expansion. And it's certain experiences spiritually that I have experienced that I would like to talk about with people, but it's just not anybody around me to talk about it with. And so you end up looking online, right? You look online, or you might go to Barnes and Nobles or something and see if it's a book you can read. I know these are some of the things that I can do, because I'm attempting to tether myself to a frequency that resonates with my soul and not my wounded ego. Because what a lot of us have been doing is, see, our individual trauma, it creates a banking system. A banking system that can be used to withdraw energy from, to create some type of system on earth, or to create some type of domination, or to be in power. See, everything is not about money. It's more so about the power of our souls, the life force energy. And so a lot of us probably have been feeling meh about life. Just don't nothing really excite me. Life just feel hard. I feel kind of flat. I just don't even care no more. And sometimes you just get to a point where you tired of being triggered, and you just like, fuck it. I don't care about anything. I don't really find a lot of joy in things that once gave me joy. I don't really care to hang out with people in real life. You know, I'm just getting through life. I'm just getting through life. I'm living, but I don't really feel alive. What the fuck am I here for? What am I here to do? Like, what am I really here to do? Yeah. You know, I'll just stay in hermit mode. But then there's this other part of you that's hungry for new experiences. And we need novelty. Our souls need novelty to evolve. Yeah. Peace, sis. A lot of us don't like to deal with other people's energy now. It's true. The veil is down. So the ease that we felt on the old earth before the veil got as thin as it is now is not there anymore. So you can't unsee things. But there are seasons, and there is a point that you must challenge yourself to step out of your comfort zone from time to time, because you will get a really good read on yourself. You will get powerful downloads about yourself in different dynamics and situations. And so we're being challenged to do that. We're being challenged to know, when do I need to pull away from people and just be with my own energy? But what am I doing when I'm with myself? What do I spend most of my time doing? That's the question. And why? Why am I doing it? And are the things that I invest my time, money, and energy into actually creating a version of me that I feel proud of? And I think a lot of us, you know, if I'm not mistaken, it's called, it's a word for this. Hold on. Because, see, what's happening for a lot of us is that, because while I was in the hospital this last time, and I'm not somebody that takes, I don't take my health for granted. I'm somebody who cherishes her health and cherishes her mental health and cherishes herself to the point where I'll sacrifice anything that I need to release so that I am being constantly in the algorithm of my own authenticity and discovering the parts of myself that was erased in toxic relationships, rediscovering these parts of myself, rediscovering the wounds inside of myself that create the dialogue that I hear in my mind, and who I am and the way that I think when no one else is around, the way that I respond when I'm under pressure, the things that I see in my life that I know require more time and more effort and energy. If I'm truly giving all that I have and that I can to be a seed for the future that I believe in. And I don't know how to be this oak tree, but I know that there's a seed inside of my soul, and I'm here to experience something that I have not experienced yet. How do I get there in the healthiest way? How do I'm leaving toxic situations, but am I getting it out of my fascia? Is my head hurting because I ruminate a lot on things that hurt me? And maybe it's a habit. Maybe my liver is struggling. For a lot of us who grew up in poverty, we had to eat what we were given. We had to eat what was available to us. And so it affected our body, it affected our liver, it affected our mind, it affected everything in our life. The childhood emotional environment that maybe we did not digest properly because it was toxic, and maybe we experienced things at an age where we were too young to be able to digest that emotional experience. Those things are coming up now. Do I listen to my body to the point where I'm gonna do what it is that is required of me, even if it's hard? Do I allow myself to do hard things? It has. And all of these planets are moving into Aries now. And Aries is like the construction of the spiritual warrior, the construction of the divine masculine. This is self-realization happening collectively. I would even dare to say self-realization for the purpose of self-deification. Because when you operate as a human, you accept whatever life brings to you, and you never challenge yourself to see, is there a lesson in the pain, and how can I use it to catalyze me instead of paralyze me? Because the things that have paralyzed us were meant to be the things that catalyzed us. When you come here to create a timeline that is, that timeline is not something that the powers that be want to be a part of our reality. So when you come for that purpose, you are a chaos magician. You are disruptive to the program. And in the family, you probably were disruptive too. Even speaking your truth, it was like disruption. Whatever it was you were going through was disruption. And so a lot of this manifested in my physical body. I have Virgo. So a lot of Virgo in my chart. But I'm Virgo rising, but I also have Saturn in Virgo. So with this last eclipse, I had already been looking at my map, and I gave y'all the soul decoding maps, okay? That is 8 astrological points that is going to tell you the root of the internal workings, that have created your life from childhood and point you in a direction of what you're here to create, your purpose. And I've been talking about that in the description in the last video, and that's there. Y'all can get that. That's like a PDF that I will put together and send you. And it's just like, what, $20 or something like that? It's not even, it's stupid low right now. So, you know, take advantage of that if that's resonating with you. But I go over what shaped your nervous system, which planetary alignments shaped your nervous system, shaped your body, shaped your mind, shaped what you value about love, shaped your childhood. Our parents, that was a soul contract. And so I decode your soul contract using astrological points. And so I had been doing this for myself for the past few years. And so with this eclipse coming, I was like, whoa, something is about to happen. And let me tell you, as soon as that eclipse started, it felt like my bones were being crushed. It felt like a heavy vehicle had rolled over my legs and just parked there. It was the most intense. It takes a lot for me to cry. It takes a lot for me to cry. This broke me. It was a war happening inside of my body. And I had to sit in that pain for 2 days. Still had to get up and walk, still had to get up and cook, still had to pick up my daughter from school. Like I'm functioning, and on the outside you probably see this, but on the inside I was in warfare. And I was warring with all of the pain that I had absorbed trying to save people and help people and doing what I thought I was supposed to be doing, because religion programmed me to believe that it was holy for me to be a sacrificial lamb and to be a martyr, right? The patriarchy taught me that as a woman, my value was in what I could give and do and nurture for others. And so I operated in these systems for so long, and I didn't have the map to decode my soul contracts. It's a million astrological videos, a million people telling you all of these things, but I needed a map for my soul. And I knew that this eclipse season was going to be one hell of an eclipse season. And it was a blood moon eclipse. And we're coming up on a new moon tomorrow. This energy right now, it's electric. And you can feel it in the air. And to deify yourself is to be accountable for everything that happens, to be responsible, to be accountable, and to not blame anybody for anything, even if there are things in your life that are unfair, even if people don't always reciprocate the energy that you give, even if all of these things may be true. But at the end of the day, you are responsible for how you respond to you. And so I have bypassed discomfort in my body so much for so long that I don't listen. I wouldn't listen. Like, why? Just push through it. Just push through. That's what everybody do. Just push through. But at some point you got to stop and be like, hold on. I need to process. Because if I don't stop and process this, I'm not going to have progress. And if I don't have progress, then I'm not in alignment with my higher, our divine self and the things that I profess. And when we're not in alignment in this current energy, it's going to feel terrible. I ain't even gonna lie to you. So to deify yourself is to take responsibility so strongly where you don't even look up and try to figure out how somebody else was wrong. If it's revealed to you, it just is. But you're not going looking for it. Your perspective and your approach to everything happening in your life is, how can I use this to catalyze me instead of paralyzing me? Maybe that person that irritates the hell out of you, and you probably love them, but it might be something that you've been bypassing. Maybe it's not physical for you. Maybe it's relational. Maybe it's mental. Maybe it's spiritual. Maybe it's emotionally. What are we bypassing that's allowing us to co-create a reality where monsters that have done the diabolical shit that they have done, and the shit that was done to us, okay, it happened, but that's meant to catalyze me, not paralyze me. I think I'm gonna have to change the name of this channel message. And there are a million places that you could be right now. You're right here. Listen to this. That says a lot about you. I am not someone who creates videos and teaches because it sounds cute or it sounds good, sounds conscious. I've really been pulling away from the quote unquote consciousness spiritual community. It just, a lot of things don't resonate with me the way that they used to. And I pick up on energy that's just, it's not in alignment. It's not in alignment with truth, with purity, with love. A lot of people, you know, they do things for the numbers, and I get it, especially if we had a childhood where we, you know, we didn't feel like we ever were enough, we didn't accomplish enough. And so if you start, you know, getting a lot of good numbers on these algorithms online, it kind of make you feel away when you see, you know, your shit got 560,000 likes. And you're like, okay, it's like some type of validation from the collective of people that you'll probably never meet, and it really never means anything. And I mean, it could just be the matrix fucking with you just to keep you on an algorithm of something that's not even aligned with your authentic self. I mean, even our comments that we leave under videos and the things that we like, that creates something in our reality. That puts something, it feeds something into our auric field. So to be able to control your auric field is to be able to pull away from trying to control, blame, figure out what everybody else did outside of you. And see, a lot of us, especially a lot of men ain't been ready to do that. That feels like too much. Too much. You mean to tell me I'm supposed to allow myself to sit in the areas where I don't feel that I'm enough? You mean to tell me that I'm supposed to allow myself to be vulnerable and appear as weak because I'm being emotional or whatever it may be? Like the wounded masculine, and we all have a masculine and feminine inside of us, was not just men, but it can be an aspect of you. And when you're just like, no, I don't want to sit with that. I prefer validation and praise. Don't correct me. And spirit is like, okay, all right, they don't want any more correction. And so these are the things. So if you do your map, do the work, because everything in your life is a relationship. Every relationship has one common denominator, and that's you. And so laying in a hospital bed and you can't get up, you can't go where you want to go, you can't do what you want to do, you can't even eat what you want to eat when you want to eat it. Everything around you is set up to be out of your control. And when you are somebody who feels safe when you're controlling what's happening in your life, because your nervous system has been set up to be codependent, and it needs other people in your life to be okay and to not be upset with you. Just a certain way you need things to be to feel safe. And you get put in a situation where you can't control anything happening around you. That's a very tough place to be in. And so I'm the person who is teaching from swimming in this spiritual awakening at really deep depths. I'm someone who I can't create a reel and give y'all a version of my reality that isn't aligned. I just refuse to do it. I refuse to be that type of person. I'm someone who y'all see me go through really difficult things, and then the next thing you know, you see a video and I'm back like nothing happened. How is she doing that? How is she moving from valley to mountaintop? what's happening in the in-between. And that's what I share with y'all in the Dark Goddess Guide to Ending Energetic Fuckery, in the Sis Unfuck Your Savior complex, because so many women are exhausted and sick because of our savior complex, including myself. I created a lot of strife because I inherited a nervous system whose foundation was dysfunction, abuse, trauma, poverty, betrayal, abandonment, rejection. And I allowed those experiences to entrain me. And then I allowed religion to entrain me. And then I was imprinted by the patriarchy, which entrained me. Our culture, our music, the messages, it entrained us in ways that are not aligned. And so a lot of us don't know how to step into our purpose. And it's something that I'm still learning. I'm living my purpose right now, but I have more than one purpose. So do you. So in that book, and I went ahead and wrote one for men too, because, or for the masculine, however you want to use it. But it is also an alchemical guide to becoming a safe man. Because on one side, a lot of women have been operating as martyrs and sacrificing themselves for everybody else, for the family, for relationships. And we've been doing it for generations and it looks normal. So we're entrained to operate that way. But for a lot of men, their experiences and their challenges, especially as indigenous men, they don't know how to be safe men. They don't know how to be emotionally regulated consistently. Self-deification is controlling you, not always controlling your environment to make yourself feel better. So when I was thrown back into the narrative of having to go to the emergency room as a Black woman in the South with a disease that is stereotyped to create drug addicts, and when I'm there and I'm questioned and I'm not believed, but I know the type of person that I am, do you realize how strong your mind has to be to not allow an entire system to gaslighting you into believing that your pain is not real? I'm talking about you feel like you're dying and nobody believes you. The people that are supposed to help you don't believe you. This is what I deal with when I go to the hospital. So it's not like I'm going to the hospital and life is great. They're going to believe whatever I say about how I'm feeling. No, that's not my reality. I have stories that will shock you. It's like watching the movie Saw, except real life. And these are the type of these archonic targeted attacks that I get because I'm sharing with y'all wisdom while I'm in the mud, while I'm in it. This is not hindsight 2020. This is right now, this shit look bad, but I'm going to turn it into something else. And not only am I going to do that, but I'm not going to gatekeep. I'm going to tell everybody else how I'm doing it, how I alchemize like this, why I haven't lost my mind. There are things going on in my life. If I gave y'all just a quick rundown, we could just start with the top 3. You wouldn't even believe that I'm sitting here with you communicating and channeling this energy and putting it into words where you can actually use it. You wouldn't even believe it because you would be like, if I was going through all that, I would not be on live, da-da-da-da-da-da. You would not believe it. Y'all probably going through some stuff right now, and it's probably really challenging. So if this is you, if you are going through anything that is challenging, if you're not, that's great. I'm not saying you're doing anything wrong. Maybe you could comment and tell me something that I might try and it might help me. But no, I am going through major tower moments after tower moments, transformations. It's cool and copacetic for a little while. Here come another wave. And this is how you know you're becoming a disruptor to the 3D matrix. You're not moving with the program no more. She's not playing the game. She just jumped off the chessboard. Throw her ass in the ocean. This is why I'm saying to you, if you don't get nothing else out of this channel message, then after this, I'm gonna get off here. I hope this is helping somebody. Y'all can not only like, y'all can comment, and y'all can also, we got super chat now. Like, I can't believe it. I can do super chats now. So y'all can even share, like, you know, throw some dollars at me, you know. But look, what paralyzed you that was supposed to catalyze you? Ask yourself that. And if you want to go deeper into exploring that, I don't know how many videos it would take for me to tell y'all what's in this book. I think it might be helpful because, y'all, let me tell you, I spent months swimming through, damn near drowning in pain and trauma, making sense of dysfunctional relationships and why I attract people who are emotionally unavailable. Why am I attracted to people who are emotionally unavailable? Why do I try to save people? Why, like, as a woman, the universe is really sending us a message right now, and it's telling us to step back and to let men go through their challenges and to not try to comfort them, not try to make them feel better. Don't reassure them, just step back. And we're also individually being challenged by this energy to be able to reassess our own selves. So in this book, let me tell y'all what's in the book. This is Sis Unfuck Your Savior Complex. It's a sacred selfishness guide to reclaim your sanity and your personal power. I talk about the exhaustion showing up as a sacred signal from your soul, and I go deep into that. I offer you how to get your own cosmic blueprint and decode why you have played the role of being savior to people and how to become sovereign. I go over your soul cartography. That's the soul frequency that's embedded within you from the planets, the way that they were aligned when your soul chose to come through the baptism of your mother's womb into this world. It's so significant. It's like a microscope into who you really are. I go over your moon sign, your Venus, your 4th and 7th house. Because a lot of home shit that had been going on with me was revealed in my 4th house. And it was stuff that I didn't want to deal with, and I had to really look at it. I go over your Neptune, because your Neptune is what creates your savior complex. Whatever algorithm you have noticed in your life, whatever common thread you have noticed in your life, whatever wounds, whatever illusions, whatever times you felt like you had to save people at the cost of your own well-being, yourself, and your health, this is what women, especially women, have been trained to do. That's revealed to you by Neptune and Chiron. This is the area where you glamorized being a martyr because of programming. It was in your soul contract. It was not your fault. It was a soul contract. I go over your Mars and how it's connected to the rage that you have not been able to channel to give you the life that you deserve. Rage is there for a reason. And it's there to be used to burn through things, to purify things. But a lot of us don't know how to direct our rage, and a lot of us are uncomfortable with being angry. You know, they even got the whole angry black woman thing. Like, why is that even a thing? Like, it's okay to be angry. It's okay to feel rage. Like, none of these emotions are things that are not okay. This is why I studied the left-hand path, so that I could create the middle path for me to walk, because that's what resonated for me. In chapter 4, I go over your Black Moon Lilith, your nodes, path to reconnect with who you are in your wow self. That's like we on vacation and nobody knows us type shit. What you do when you in that setting. What you wish you could do. If you wasn't worried about nobody judging you, what would you do? And to have enough compassion for yourself to accept that part of you and not feel bad about it. Then I give you a worksheet where you can map out your own cosmic chains that have bound you through your bloodline lineage and the keys to get free. I give you the neurobiology of being a martyr, why your body says no to things that your mouth feels pressured to say yes to. Chapter 6, I go over your nervous system, the reason why it fawns. This is a nervous system that wants to make things better. We want to help people. We want to make things better. But it's at the expense of ourselves. We end up abandoning our own self. Chapter 7, I go over chronic illness as a form of a somatic rebellion. Your body is an oracle. Your body is a truth teller. You can't lie. You can't look. Y'all know when y'all do certain things, listen to certain people, eat certain things, whatever it may be, sometimes shit just make your body feel away. And you might can ignore it for a little while, but eventually it will get so loud you cannot ignore it. Any illness that manifests, there is a message in that dis-ease, in that discomfort. It could just be cramps. I had cramps in my calves and couldn't figure out why. I was like, what's going on with this? This is self-deification. This is to know yourself so well where your damn big toe start hurting and you know that your big toe is communicating something to you and you know what to say to yourself, what to think, and what to look at in your soul blueprint to figure out what message your big toe is trying to send to you. This is the level of connection that our ancestors had with themselves. This is why they could be one with nature and be among poisonous snakes and all types of things that they were exposed to. Our lives are very, very different than what theirs were. But they were so energetically sensitive to pick up on cues and messages and feeling the energy that it kept them safe. And I realized I didn't know how to keep myself safe because I spent a lot of energy bypassing what my body is telling me. You go around them certain family members, your body be telling you, don't, no, something ain't right here. Do you listen to that? Will you be okay with being an asshole because you left early? Do you love yourself enough to be able to listen to that? I'll go over chapter 8, your nervous system, and the whole spiel that I got from the nervous system, which is ruled by Virgo. So I'm kind of giving y'all a clue, but your Virgo placement is going to tell what's going on with your nervous system. Then I go over some pillars to be able to forge more sovereignty. You know, because alchemy, it sounds easy, but it requires work and it requires patience. It's not quick. Is you have to play the long game, and you have to be like, no, I'm not gonna quit and give up at this. It might be hard, but I'm here for the journey. I'm not just here to get quick microwave outcomes, because a lot of us, that's what we expected when we first went through the awakening. That's what we hoped for. I know I'm not the only one. And then I also go over why you caretake. A lot of women, we try to caretake people. We try to anticipate what people need before they need it and be there for them. Yes, it's part of being a woman. It's part of our physiology, our neurobiology. Hormonally, it allows us to do that. But now that I'm going through perimenopause, I don't have as much estrogen as I used to. So I don't even have the energy to give as many fucks as I used to about those types of things. And I had to start pulling my energy away and reassessing and saying, wait a minute, I need that energy to spend the next hour doing Qigong. That's what I need to be doing. I need to be doing my somatic exercises. I can't use the rest of this time to be of service to other people. And I was able to go no contact with my biological family, which was so hard. My nervous system really took that hard. It was so much pain and resentment that I felt. All of these things, the panic that I feel when I'm not managing somebody else's emotions, it would really get to me. And I wanted to know what this is and how can I use this as a catalyst instead of this being something that paralyzes me. And then I go into prompts that you can use to repair relationships without being a martyr, without abandoning yourself. How to be brutally honest with yourself, because that's what this energy of Aries is about. Brutal honesty. If it's not brutal honesty, it's not shadow work. And this is for the awake woman. So there is levels to this. So I'm telling you, if you don't want transformation, don't buy nothing that I post. Do not do it. Okay? And I have a few more chapters, not a few, but it's a significant amount. Your complicity in your toxic dynamics, because all of us play a role. It's not just the people outside of us, but what role do you play? What payoff do you get from your toxic dynamics? It's some type of reward that you're subconsciously getting when you do things that are not healthy for you to keep doing, yet you keep doing them. It's because it's rewarding you something. And when you don't know what reward that is, you're not going to be able to create the version of reality that is aligned with who you really are. And you will continue to live other people's reality and other people's projections, other people's illusions, and the illusions that's being created by the people who want to continue ruling this world. They knew we was going to go through this awakening. Why do we need all this technology now? What is it that they're trying to stop? So that's how to unfuck yourself. If you have been a codependent, people-pleasing fawner who has lived in fight or flight, and I went over every aspect that I could possibly find. And for the men, I did the exact same thing. And I give you the raw truth that nobody else probably would tell you about the masculine. And it ain't nothing like nothing you ever heard before. Because I had to learn this through my own masculine and watching my man, watching my son, watching my grandson. When you get to my stage in life and you have that many generations around you that there are an extension of you, you can't unsee your shadow no more. And so I go over how to become a safe man, because a lot of us don't know how to be safe. We don't know how to be safe. We might know how to be safe for other people, but we don't know how to be safe for ourselves. So we're going to attract people who are going to have dysregulated nervous systems. If I could tell you one thing that could change this whole world, is rearranging your nervous system and the way that it's set up, the way that you react, the meaning that you assign to things, the way that you respond, the way that you approach problems, who you are when nobody else is watching. I go over the Trinity. That's the sun, moon, and rising. This is the core operating system in the masculine. I go over your Mars and your Venus. That's your gods of war. That's the gods of love. We know them as Aphrodite, Inanna, Oshun, right? We have these deified archetypal energies that we can study to learn ourselves. And I broke it down so that you can read your own soul contract. I go over your Mercury. That's your inner tyrant. If you be listening to your inner tyrant, why not have the map for it? Then you can start analyzing what's being said inside your mind, and those thoughts that used to keep you stuck now catalyze you. I go over the architecture of your shame. Because let me tell you, if you feel very uncomfortable with being seen, because a lot of us want to feel connection, but we don't want to feel seen, so seen that everything is seen. We want the parts of us that we like to be seen. We want to feel connected and good and loved and validated and reassured and safe, but we want to feel it because it's something outside of us. But first, are you comfortable saying the things that you don't like about yourself? Because that's going to be what creates your reality. The nodes. This is your core wound and your soul's path that has been laid out for you. My nodes, my north node is Virgo. That's the body. That's the nervous system. This is what I'm supposed to be focused on and doing. When you know these things, you're not going to waste energy. You're not going to recreate cycles of trauma that you have been on the terrible side of experiencing. You're going to be able to take that power from that pain and create something else. And then I go over your decoder. This is your cosmic shadow map. I also teach you about the neurobiology of being an asshole. And it's not what you think. Because let me tell you, I love my man. Y'all probably ain't heard me talk about this in a while, but I wanted that man so bad. When I first saw him, I was just like, And it was probably about 8 years before we got together. But I was so sure. I knew it was going to happen. I didn't chase him. Nothing. I didn't need to keep in touch with him. I was just like, reality would bring us right back together. I knew what it was. And sometimes he would go into this asshole algorithm, and and I'm like, look, what you finna do, you finna inspire me to channel some shit like a real oracle do. And I'm gonna unleash that shit for everybody else to use, but I'm gonna use it with you too. And I did that, and I've done that for years. And whenever that would show up, I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all one thing that it means. Okay? Oh, I'm giving y'all a lot tonight. I hope y'all appreciate this live stream tonight. Let me know, y'all. Like the video. It helps me reach more people, because more people need to learn these things. But when we start having that asshole algorithm, and when you being an asshole, but as women, I might say I'm being a bitch, okay? But when we're on that algorithm, when we're on that demon time, because I hope that I'm attracting people who can be real enough to know, like, yeah, you be doing, you do shit too. You do. You know how to be an asshole. You know how to be a bitch. A biatch. You know how to do it. You know how to do it. You know how to make somebody feel something. You know how to cut them with them words. You know how to look at them a certain way. I ain't even gotta say nothing. I'm just gonna look at you a certain way. Look, we know, okay? And so when that's happening, based on your map, it may be different. But one common thing that I have found over and over again in the soul contract was when I am afraid to be loved, when I am afraid to truly be intimate with someone, when I'm afraid to truly be vulnerable, to be seen, to be transparent, not to be able to hide anything, even the stuff that I hid from myself about myself, that I was programmed to believe it was not worthy of being received as part of my human experience. If that starts happening, I'm going to go cold. I'm going to push people away. I'm going to look for shit that somebody said or did to make me feel away, so that I have a justified reason to keep them at arm's length, when really what it is I'm really afraid to let people in because my heart is guarded, because I've been hurt and I ain't healed that hurt yet. And we'll start acting like assholes because the ego is tricking us and making us think that the problem is the people that's in our life. Because the ego doesn't see itself as the problem, because it doesn't see itself as a potential answer. So it's just going to be like, oh, you just need to put some space in between you and them and, push them away. And sometimes we do this because the connection that we crave also scares us, because connection didn't always mean safety. And a lot of us were abused and hurt by people that we thought loved us, that we were connected to. And when you haven't healed that wound, Yes, you get on the asshole algorithm. And I broke down the neurobiology of that. I went over autism, complex PTSD in the nervous system, and how that can show up in your day-to-day life. And not only am I just giving you information, but I'm giving you decoders where you could plug in your own information. It's gonna read a code out to you where your soul contract is gonna be revealed to you. I broke down the reason that having a meltdown or crash out, as we would say now, that's a biological event. It's not even a choice. It's something that a nervous system that has been entrained to not feel safe and to feel like it has to be defensive. We would create a meltdown. We would create a crash out, a nervous breakdown, whatever you want to call it. We will explode. That's a biological event. It's not a choice. Nobody is like Tuesday around 1:45. After two people say blank to me, I'm going to have a crash out. It don't happen like that. It's not a choice. It's biological. So if this is you, then you know how to figure out what's really happening underneath that. And then you can change it. I go over why men who don't know how to be safe attract women that walk on eggshells, because that is something that I see happening over and over again in the many readings that I've done. This has come up over and over again. None of this has anything to do with us being bad people. Sometimes we're just so disconnected from who we really are, and we don't feel like our wounds are even worthy of our love and our compassion, that we kind of handle ourselves in a way that attracts people outside of us that's not going to know how to be with us in a loving way, because we're still trying to learn how to be compassionate to our own selves. I go over the nervous system and re-education to move from being a reactive boy to an anchored man. And let me tell you, when a man knows how to not be reactive, especially if I'm all over the place, and I'm usually not, because I'm a Virgo that I pride myself on my ability to regulate and control my own nervous system. I like when I'm feeling like I'm that bitch and not a biatch. So like when I'm regulating my nervous system and I'm not allowing what's outside of me to manipulate what's happening inside of me, that feels real good to me. I like that. I like her. I'm like you. I like you. I like you. I want to know how to recreate you no matter what I experience. And I got tested on that with this last hospitalization. You'll be surprised how NPCs, they know the work that you're here to do. They got specific programming from the 3D matrix about your soul contract, and they manifest just to challenge you. Agent Smith is actually a role that some people will play in your life. And when you know what to do with that, it ain't gonna bother you as much. I teach a 90-second pause protocol to use so that you don't react in a way to create something in your reality that's not a reflection of the person that you are becoming, in a way where it's holding you back. It's going to reflect the person that you are here to be, and not who you had to be to survive. That's a 90-second pause protocol. That one thing in itself is worth the entire amount of this book. I have somatic anchors for neurodivergent brain, because a lot of us are not neurotypical. A lot of us are ADHD, are autistic. We are on the spectrum, and we're just not realizing that. I go through parts work. This is meeting your inner protectors. That's who hijack our life. When you get defensive, that is a personality that has been programmed in you based on your soul contract. And it shows up to protect you, but it actually ends up derailing your life. And so you will be creating energy outside of you that's really not in alignment with who you are. And it's because you're reacting. You're allowing this inner protector that you don't know. You're not in tune with them. So you don't know that this part of you is trying to protect you. And when you don't know what part of you is hijacking your life, you can't change anything happening in your life. I go over the imposter syndrome, the angry teenager inside of you, and the scared boy, and how to know when they run in your life. I go over the astrological alchemy in action. This is you transmuting your shadows that was created by the cosmos when you created your soul contract. I go over your sun sign shadow, your moon sign shadow. I channel information about your Mars placement and how that's meant to be a protector and not a predator. Because a lot of the masculine energy has become predatorial instead of a protector. And it was manipulated through social engineering, through music, through entertainment, through religion, through our culture. There's something called culture creators where people actually sit down and they decide on what we're going to entrain people to behave according to for this era, for whatever agenda we're creating. So like with transhumanism, in order for that to be able to take hold the way that they're trying to do now, we had to be so disconnected with our own selves that we would be willing to give our power over to something else. And that's what a lot of us have done. Western medicine, it didn't really teach people to be advocates and how to take care of themselves and heal themselves. It's like, just come to me and I'm gonna fix you and give you this pill or this surgery to make this better. Like I'm experiencing that, right? I'm experiencing that now where sometimes I have to do things that I've been told I should not do because it's not approved by the alphabet agency. You gotta have some balls. You gotta you know what I'm saying? You gotta, like, to be able to face that and do that. Because who knows? I could take something I've never taken before and I don't know what impact it's gonna have on me. But I could also use some type of herb and I don't know what impact it's gonna have on me. And so I just have to experiment and just see what's gonna happen and be prepared for it. And it requires courage to do these things. So this is alchemy happening through my physical body, right? And so I go through all of this in the book. I give you an emotional first aid kit, nonverbal signals. A lot of men don't know how to read nonverbal signals because they not really in their body, they live in their head most of the time. And if your masculine hijacks you, you also live in your head. And this is the reason why you will be in your head a lot about things happening in your life, because you don't trust your heart to lead you. Probably can't even feel or hear your heart. A lot of us can't even feel our real feelings because we're so busy feeling projected feelings from other people who have not alchemized their own wounds. I go over how to create a legacy that you are proud of. Because at the end of the day, being somebody who has had to face death so many times and to feel how quick this life can be over, I have had a lot of time to think about the impact that I leave in this world. And I've had a lot of time to face things that a lot of us probably haven't faced yet. Maybe it's something, usually we face in old age, and we start to feel the constriction and the restriction and the limitations of life and of the mind and the body, like all of these things. And so aging is something that was created, right? It's not natural. Aging is not natural, not the way we've been aging. This is something that was engineered and created to keep us from creating a legacy that could actually deconstruct what has created what we know to be the prison planet now. And I go over the brutally honest shadow work the way I did with the women's, how your relationship are mirrors to the parts of yourself that you probably are not able to see, your blind spots. I go over protocols for becoming a sovereign man that you could use and still be able to move through the daily grind. I go over a grand rising anchor ritual and an evening energy review and regulation. And I also teach you the clean apocalypse protocol. That's when you know you done fucked up. That's when you know you done messed up so bad. You done said some shit, did some shit, snapped on somebody. You done did something. And all of a sudden your nervous system can feel the blowback of that bomb that you dropped. Don't tell me I'm the only one who has ever did something. I'm like, whoa, that was not the best way for me to handle that. What do you do when that happened? What do your apocalypse cleanup protocol look like? Because apocalypse means the destruction of the heart. That's what the end times, apocalypse, all of these catastrophes, the point of it is to disconnect us from the heart. So like I've been really working with jade energy, which is very healing for the heart, wearing green. These are things like when you create your reality, you become somebody who lives intentionally, moves intentionally, eats intentionally. You know why you're eating what you're eating, why you're wearing what you're wearing, why you're speaking the way that you're speaking. This is what it means to become a god or a goddess. It's to move through life awake. And that means that you are going to feel things that you do not always want to feel. And sometimes life is going to feel heavy. Sometimes things are going to feel like too much. When you are the one in the lineage that signed up to turn these things around, to break these cycles, that's going to happen. So how do you clean up? How do you repair when you mess up? If you don't know that, and if you ain't got no protocol in place that you go to each and every time, then when you mess up, it is going to make you feel a way about yourself. And there is something that is going to end up sacrifice that you're not going to receive or experience because you don't know how to repair yourself when that happens. And you definitely don't know how to repair or help other people who are involved when that happens. And a lot of men, their anger is abusive because they react so quick. Masculine too, but a lot of times men react so quick. They're so quick to snap and to defend and to blame. This is the patriarchy. These are viruses, y'all. These are viruses, and they block the frequency of the heart. As long as they can block that, yes, we are living in an apocalypse, and it is dystopian, but it can be changed by doing the work on yourself. I teach messages from the dark goddesses for the masculine as well. And so that's pretty much an overview of these two books that I really had not got a chance to talk about in one video. So y'all, we are the power. You know, we are the ones who are here to change this. It's not always comfortable. It's not always going to be easy, but it's always going to be worth it. So if I was following you every day, watching you, how would you feel about what I'm perceiving? Because sometimes when you see things through somebody else's eyes, it gives you a perspective of your process and what you're doing in your day-to-day life to see whether or not it's aligned with what you profess. And we have to be actually embodying whatever it is that we have intellectualized, that we have learned coming into this spiritual awakening, coming into this consciousness community. So that was a channel message for today. You know, I do oracle and tarot card readings when I feel called to. I do readings as well. I have some openings. If you want to schedule with me, you can. This is a time of you having your shit together, having your stuff. If you don't get these books with these instructions, that's fine. Like, do something, have something. The worst thing that you could do is do nothing and continue to allow yourself to be manipulated by all of these energies outside of us that don't want us to disturb the prison planet's algorithm. You are a disturbance. That's why you're here. And you are meant to anchor something new. Don't allow what's happening in this world to overshadow the greatness that has been hid in your own shadows. We do have the power. It's not all negative. It's meant to be alchemized into something that we're going to feel proud of. And if the way that you move from day to day is a way where you could truly say that I really do feel proud of myself in the way that I move through my day-to-day life. If you can say that, if you feel that way when you lay your head down at night, kudos to you. You are applying yourself, and you are actually investing in your higher I divine self and not your lower self. And you're going to create a broadcast system that's going to help this world. And that's how we help this world. We help this world by helping ourselves. Y'all quiet over there. I don't know if y'all doing something, eating, driving, busy. Y'all quiet. But I hope that this was something that was helpful to y'all, because it felt good for me to be able to share this with you all. Yes, it is called growth. Oh, thank you, Dandelion Dragon. I appreciate my people. When I be away, I be missing y'all. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna go ahead and play some music, catch these codes, catch these vibes. I am reverse engineering the trauma that music has created in our subconscious mind with subliminal messages that we didn't even know was shaping our reality. And that is a sad truth, but it might seem like I'm a very strong-willed person, but I realize a lot of my life was created through entrainment. So we're gonna take that shit back and use it for something that's positive and helpful, right? We're not deconstructing ourselves.
Once upon a time I had to wear a fake face just to feel safe. Ego had a safe face. Now I'm in phase where I ain't two-faced. Now I need the crown, I don't need a toupee. Full 44, yeah, I see it every day. Some think it's crazy, so I'm like, touche. I was misunderstood, now I'm M's overstand. Shifting my position to ascension, that's a brand. In a talk, negative, is it gonna get banned? 10 toes down is the way I understand. Healing bloodlines, my soul been assigned. Making moves from my heart, no longer with my mind. I'd have been gullah, oh, waking in my spine. Like the sun and the moon, I am rising up to shine. Loving on myself like I know I'm a divine. I'm too fine and I'm one of a kind. Some people can't go with me cause we unaligned. It ain't a new day, it's a new timeline, yeah.
Oh, I ain't for the many. Y'all know y'all not. Cause you ready for the few. It's just a few of us that's chosen.
We are plenty. We are chosen.
All right, y'all. So you see your girl been writing. So I'm getting back to the music. I'm getting back to the music, and you know, I don't even know what to say to you. Like, you know, I'm not for the many. I'm here for the few. You know what I'm saying? We're here to do what we're here to do, and we're gonna do it and keep spinning and keep rocking it. And no matter what is happening in my life, I will be consistently showing up just like this. It's love over here. Take this, share this with somebody else. Like, you know, don't keep it all for you. Rewatch it, take some notes. I'm gonna put links in the description. Y'all know y'all can go to untamedSouls.com, newverselive.com. It's all ours. remnantsgathering.com. Anything that you type in throughout our evolution is gonna lead you back to us. It's gonna be there. Get this book. It's like, I don't know. I can't even express to you how good it felt to be gaslit, and I was able to hold on to my power. As a Black woman who has had so many things happen to her and has done my best to be the best version of myself, to go through that and not feel like a victim at all, and was able to change what was happening in my reality by detaching and using everything that we talked about here. Not everything. I can't give y'all everything, but I gave y'all a lot. Like, we've been on here for what, 96 minutes? That's a lot. And I hope that y'all see how sacred and precious this energy is, because when you do, and when you show up that way, you invite more of this into your life as well. And that's what we're here to do. All right. So stay tuned. All right. And keep your ears out for the music. It's coming. It's coming. All right, y'all. Peace.